Gary, round 5 against Richmond, a 43-point win, and as you mentioned to me earlier, probably our most even performance of the season and another step forward for the group.
Yeah, it was, and that's all we're looking for, Sam. Is obviously the week before against Willie, we did a lot of things right, but didn't finish off as well as I would have liked, considering the amount of chances that we gave ourselves. So we were better again this week. We were down a player pretty early on in the game with poor old Shipper just doing a little hamstring nibble, so we had to then cope with that. And also too, I was fairly happy with a couple of the kids that came in as well. So Mitch Hayes had a different role this week, a little bit more in the midfield, and Alex Urban played his first game for the club this year, and I thought he was pretty solid over 4 quarters. And Nick Parthenopoulos got a late call up because of David Iacarino being crook. So all in all, it probably says a little bit about what we think we're trying to, I guess, grow and nurture and develop and educate. And I think everyone out there in relation to Borough would be seeing some sort of results, and that's all we want at this point in time.
Apart from those 3 late goals that the Tigers pinched off us, it was another outstanding defensive effort overall, but individually, as you said, a few of those youngsters really showed some good signs, and the likes of Josh Tynan probably played his best game for the club so far, and young Josh Halser has really given us, plenty of energy and enthusiasm in that forward line as a 23rd man the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, he has. The Hoff, as we call him now, he's been very good since we've slightly changed his role, I guess. So he does bring that energy, and he's a real likeable young lad. And we hope also too there's another one that's obviously again in that batch of young players that's going to have a fair say on how far we go this year. You can't always rely on the older players, but certainly you're right about Josh Tynan. It was probably line ball in my mind whether Damien Masidi was best player on the day or Josh, and certainly Josh's tackling efforts, the ability he gives us in relation to being a taller midfielder, and how good he was right across the game. But I probably felt in the end that Damo just used the ball a little bit better, springboard across half back, which is always important, and the way he delivers the ball is extremely creative. So, but having said that, Brodie Myercheck was solid again, and that's always pretty important. And if you think about what we're trying to get in relation to contributions right across the board, it was certainly a higher number of guys, and I think it's pretty easy to see that if we get that, we generally travel okay.
And so we move on to Footscray now, at home again. We've had plenty of closely fought battles and developed a bit of a rivalry with them over the past few years, and I suppose any time we face off against an opposition who's coming off a 105-point victory, you have to respect that, and they're obviously going to be very hard to beat.
Yeah, that's true, but they did drop their previous 3 games before that. So if you think about where they're at, where we're at, and obviously, as you said, you can't deny the fact that they were very good against North Ballarat. But so were we against Richmond. So we should be saying to ourselves, which we always do anyway, that it's another home game, and of course we want to be almost unbeatable at home. So for us to come out here again on Saturday, we get a 7-day break. So last week's was a 6-day break, and certainly we'll use that for what we can. But Chris Kane should be right to come back into the team this week after that nasty knock in the eye. And plus the good thing was too that our development team had their first win for the season, so it's the first time this year that we've had both teams win on the same day, so that was encouraging. And there's about probably 4 or 5 guys in that group: Tom Gordon, Guy Dixon, Harvey Hooper, Tommy Hobbs. So also too, Matty Arnott got through his first time this year in relation to game time, and Nathan Batsanis should also be right this week as well. So hopefully that's what we want, is real selection issues or headaches, if you want to call them that, and the more we can get, then I think we're travelling in the right direction.
And just quickly, we've got a bit of a quirk in the fixture this week, as you mentioned, with the Development League having a bye. Can you just give the fans a bit of an insight into how this week is going to pan out, and also the plans for some of those guys who might have been sidelined and on the verge of a return to the field?
Yeah, look, it's always a difficult one, Sammy. As you said, we've certainly got an okay situation for the senior group, and we've got to be very careful that we don't rush guys back. Lee Osborne's probably another one that's touch and go to be selected this week, and it's a pity, as you said, that we haven't got the development team playing. But I'm not overly keen on sending our class back to the home clubs either. You know you've got to do it for obvious reasons, but I think we can also manage their time really well on the track and give them certainly quite hard training sessions, if you like. So we not only get the bye bye this week, mate, but then we've got obviously North Ballarat and Frankston the following weekend, then a State of Origin, then it's Casey, and then there's another bye again. So we'll have to be very smart. We'll send a lot of that, I guess, nucleus of the development team back to their home clubs this week, and then we'll just suck it and see as to who played well, who got game time, who needs extra fitness, and we'll make a judgment a little bit more after next week, I think, mate, rather than this week.
Well, Gary, thanks for your time today, and here's hoping for another win this Saturday. Best of luck.
Yeah, good on you, Sammy. Appreciate it.